Meanwhile, packing it in as temperatures are about to go up with planes short on space. My friend Mark Murphy says get ready for a very long, hot summer. He has detailed this very presciently for us. He's the author of Travel Unscripted. It's a very useful guide just to deal with all this nonsense. What can we expect, Mark?
Higher ticket prices. So I don't understand how they can cut the number of carriers and limit our choices, but we're going to get better choices at better prices. So it's going to be more people on the plane, fuller planes, because they've cut capacity.
Right.
There's this consolidation, higher ticket prices. That's a given. If you haven't booked your summer travel yet, definitely think about booking it sooner as opposed to later. And then if you show up at the airport, in some cases, depending on the airline you're flying, maybe not expect it to take off on time. If it does get there on time, good news is your baggage is going to get there, we think. But at the end of the day, you got to figure out some other ways to travel if airfares continue to rise.
Another thing is on-time performance. It's very, very bad. It's getting worse. So I always think of luggage that doesn't make connections or make it at all.
Well, you mentioned connections. One of the biggest challenges is connections, because now a lot of these secondary markets don't have nonstop service to let's say, destinations like Cancun. So now you have to route through Atlanta or route through Cincinnati or route through Salt Lake City, depending on where you're going. The challenge with that is there's so many combinations that you can see layovers of 16 hours when you go on an orbitz.com. That's why I always recommend you talk to a traveler.
A layover 16 hours?
They'll show you, hey, an $899 fare. The fare looks great. And then you look at the detail and it's a 16-hour layover. And you go, well, that doesn't make any sense. And that's because there's all these different combinations, and that's why you want to talk to a travel professional. They can sort through all of that. Most people don't realize they sell 60% of international and 40% of domestic airline tickets, and it's a great way to have them figure it out for you, the best route at the best price.
Now, I know you're the expert, but as you know, I play one on TV and read a prompter, so I think you'll have to stand down on this one. But in all seriousness, what I see, I don't trust airlines at all. Whenever they feature a departure time, or like when the captain gets on, say we're going to be here for another 10 minutes,
right,
I automatically assume that's an hour.
Well,
but so the trust factor, the confidence level I have in the entire industry is being tested.
Yes, they brought that on themselves by stranding people on planes and everything else. That's why there's a passenger bill of rights. So that's been
By the way,
a challenge.
what came of the passenger bill of rights?
Nothing really.
They can leave you on the tarmac at 90 degrees. And,
yeah, well, the government stepped in and said there's limitations now. Otherwise, they're going to have heavy penalties. So there have been changes to that. So they're more responsive. All we want to be as passengers, we want to be informed. Tell us what's going on.
Exactly.
That's it. Just let me know.
Just give me, if something is delayed, that I'll understand. But just don't leave me hanging.
Yeah,
and don't lie to me with this 10-minute at a time.
Yeah, I don't want to go up on a plane that has a problem. So just tell me there's a problem. We're going to stay on the ground. And then don't board us if you don't think the plane's going to take off. That's the other big problem. They want to push back for an on-time departure, but they're not sure if they're ready to go. And then they want to have you sit there because it's a pain in the neck to bring you off and put you back on. And look at those seats. That's the number one complaint. The size of the seats on these darn planes.
Oh my God.
They get smaller and smaller and smaller. I'm 6'2". I was flying back from Denver over the weekend. And what happened? The guy in front of me is just an iPad this big. Leans back, the iPad goes flying. I thought it broke. It did.
I hate that when the person right in front of me just leans all the way back.
Boom.
And they're like looking up at me. It's
and you can lean over and give him a kiss on the forehead. Night, night.
Not really. But I know where you're coming from. Mark Murphy, Travel Unscripted. Get ready for more of this nonsense. It is ridiculous. He's right. Meanwhile.